After enduring 3 days, 3 nights, I suddenly realized something truly tricky. Right before me, a wild wolf lay on the ground, as if silently pleading for mercy. I summoned up my courage. Initially, I intended to kill it to satiate my hunger, but the moment my eyes met its vigilant and somewhat despairing gaze, I was jolted into the realization that actually taking a life was far more difficult than I'd ever imagined. Little did I know at that time that this moment of compassion would give rise to the first dog in history. To save it, I swiftly pulled out my belt, and, when it least expected it, firmly tied its mouth shut. Subsequently, I led it to a cave, and we spent the night there without incident. The next morning, as soon as I woke up, I saw that the wild wolf had broken free from its bonds and was eyeing me menacingly, baring its teeth. Summoning all my courage to suppress the fear within, I picked up some water to offer it. However, it growled at me furiously, its eyes ablaze with hostility. I spoke softly to soothe it. "Don't be afraid. I won't harm you." Miraculously, it seemed to understand my words, and its demeanor gradually relaxed. At that instant, an indescribable, subtle connection seemed to form between me and this wolf. So, I named it Alpha. Before long, another urgent issue presented itself. In this desolate expanse, finding food was the linchpin of our survival. I exerted great effort and managed to find only some insects. Even so, I still shared most of them with Alpha. Despite looking thoroughly disgusted, it eventually succumbed to hunger and gobbled them all up. But this couldn't continue indefinitely. Thus, I steeled myself and hunted down a rabbit. The moment Alpha caught sight of the delicious rabbit, it couldn't contain its excitement and began approaching me slowly. There was no way I'd let it seize the prey easily. I swatted it with a backhand slap right after I tore off a piece of raw meat and started chewing, making it clear that I was the dominant one here. Nevertheless, the taste of raw meat was truly revolting. So I started a fire by friction and feasted on the savory roasted meat. Alpha could only watch me longingly on the side. When I turned to look at it, a pang of pity welled up in my heart. Consequently, I laid down a rule for us. I would be the one to distribute food. Alpha appeared to understand and acquiesced obediently. Afterward, I rewarded it with a piece of meat. I had assumed that sufficient trust had been established between us, but when I cautiously reached out to stroke it, it bared its teeth at me once again, scaring me so much that I yanked my hand back in a flash. I couldn't help but feel a twinge of disappointment. I'd thought we had already developed mutual trust, yet it still remained on guard against me. However, the next day, things took an unexpected turn for the better. My foot injury had mostly healed. I was acutely aware that I had to reach home before the blizzard hit, so I packed my belongings and readied myself to depart. To my surprise, Alpha clamped its teeth onto my scarf and refused to let go. I tugged hard, and after a protracted struggle, I finally managed to retrieve it. I attempted to shoo it away, but it just lay there nonchalantly, showing no intention of leaving me at all. Left with no choice, I could only set off alone.